Welcome to the Inspired Action interview series. I'm Francis from Gold Lilies Media, and our guest today is Edgar Morales. Let's learn more of his story. Today, I'm excited to have Edgar Morales. He's a professional ghostwriter for founders and coaches who share story-driven thought leadership to attract their ideal clients. So today, Edgar, thanks for joining me. First question, what inspired you to become a ghostwriter?
Thank you very much, Francis. First and foremost, I am deeply appreciative of your invitation. Thank you very much. I feel honored, so thank you so much. I guess my inspiration is that I have always been a voracious reader, and I have always been deeply passionate about learning new things. So I could never really see myself doing the same thing over and over or have a job that was repetitive. And since I
Mm-hmm.
reading so much, writing became like a natural next step for me, especially when I had like really good teachers in high school that really instilled in us the love for the written word. That eventually led to me becoming a newspaper reporter, which was so much fun because that career allowed me to explore a lot of different topics all the time, and I was always learning something new, and then of course sharing what I was learning. And over time, I just realized that I could do the same thing with individuals, helping them translate their knowledge, basically interview them, and then help them compose their messaging and share their lived experiences into stories and show how they can help their clients. So that became like a calling that I have enjoyed quite a bit.
Hmm. How has your storytelling and ghostwriting style evolved as you work with more leaders and entrepreneurs?
Oh, that's a very good question. Um, I used to believe that, and that is still true. That telling a story, of course, has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a climax, and the details that go along with it. And you have like different models or frameworks that you can follow. The most famous one, probably the hero's journey. But I used to make my stories completely about the characters themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if it makes any sense, now I make sure that my stories are about the audience, the people that are reading the stories, because it is very important in this line of work for people to see themselves in the stories that they're reading so that they can connect with the message. So I guess the answer to that question is I am much more reader conscious
Mm.
writing my stories so that the message can connect better with them.
And speaking of that, ghostwriting means becoming someone's voice while still be bringing your own expertise. So, what exactly is your process for capturing a client's tone and message authentically?
It really comes down to understanding who my client is and what they are trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and everybody has like a specific uh, tone and frameworks they tend to navigate towards to. So, and believe it or not, there are many, I guess you could call them archetypes of people that they fall into when they're telling a story. There's people that are very heavily on sharing facts and information. There's people that naturally gravitate into storytelling. There's other people that are very emotional, other people that are more technical in their approach. So just kind of like getting to know what sounds true to my client, the sort of archetype that they fall into, and just like try to be faithful to that so that they can really see or feel like I am capturing their voice the way that they like to sound. And then, of course, there's always a little bit of a cooperation in the sense that if I feel like their message can be better transmitted by using a specific techniques or introducing maybe a little more storytelling or maybe making some adjustments. We always have that conversation so that we can make sure that we are on the same page and we can get the most value out of their message.
Since you specialize in the storytelling part, why do you think storytelling is such a powerful tool for businesses to attract their clients?
Storytelling has always been a critical component of how a society understands itself. So
Mhm.
in that sense, storytelling is a way to make people safe right away because when somebody is telling your story, you kind of like let your guard down a little bit. You're not questioning as much, or you're not defensively because you're not looking to defend yourself. You're like, oh, you're telling me a story. I want to hear the story and I want to understand what is happening in the story because usually stories are going to be fun or at least interesting. So if you translate those principles into marketing, eh, it follows that storytelling will be the most effective way to share with people who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And if you do it right, people will be able to see themselves in the story, and that will inspire them, or I guess in a way it will allow them to see themselves working with you with a little more ease than, like if you just see a commercial of somebody trying to sell you something, then you tend to be a little bit more defensive. But whereas as you see yourself like, oh, this is me, or this story really speaks to me, or I
Mhm.
really connect with this on an emotional level, then you already like did a lot of the work in terms of like connecting with people and winning or earning their trust.
So, what does inspired action mean to you, like when it comes to your writing and publishing consistently?
I think that inspire action, and I have been thinking about this a lot over the last couple of years because I made a mistake very early in my career when I kind of deviated from my true passion, which is writing, and I went into public service and nonprofit work, which don't get me wrong, that it was very valuable and helpful as well. But I didn't really connect with that work at the emotional level that I do with writing the way I do it now.
Mm-hmm.
So inspire action ultimately, at the end of the day, it means to me to be authentic with who you are, what moves you, what inspires you, what motivates you to do, to bring out your best version possible. And it's
Mm-hmm.
about connecting with that which fulfills you spiritually, if that makes sense. Also, what allows you to contribute to society in a meaningful way. So that's what inspire action means to me, and ultimately staying aligned with your purpose.
Yep, I agree to that. All of it. So, for those who wants to collaborate with you, what is the best first step? Like, what should they come prepared with as well?
First step is, of course, we can always connect through LinkedIn. And once you get into the practice of it, if you already have some kind of like published work, or if you have something that shows who you are or what you've done, or what you're working on, if you want to share with me so that we can take a look at it and then have a conversation about uh, how we can best make use of what you already have to continue building on top of it. That is the best way to go about it, because we want to be again authentic with who we are. And if you already have a style, if you already have content, if you already have something that has your blueprint, let's use it, and then from there we can continue to build up.
Cool. Final question. What advice would you give to your audience or other inspiring writers to follow their dreams? Because some writers might think, oh, is writing relevant now? What advice would you give to them?
Oh, wow. Writing is now more relevant than it has probably ever been, especially with so much stuff being created right now with AI. I guess a little bit of a controversial take on that sense, in that I feel like AI content is going to get worse before it gets any better. And the reason for that is because AI is taking their knowledge from the content that is already out there. And if you have content that is being produced massively by other AI, then all of a sudden what you're going to have is just repetition building upon repetition. So having a unique voice is going to be more important and critical than ever. So use AI intelligently, maybe as a critical partner, but make sure that you are using your own voice. And my advice would be create, show up, share who you are, make sure that your messaging and what you're putting out into the world is true to yourself. And just don't be shy. Don't be shy to share who you are and how you can help people.
So, Edgar, thank you for sharing your insights and the heart behind your work. So I love the way you help founders and turning their stories into powerful thought leadership. So for everyone watching, I'll include Edgar's links in the YouTube channel as well as LinkedIn and social media. And so thank you for tuning in today. And next time, see you. Bye-bye.